And we are live. Welcome everyone to Fun in the Country Basement. There are a few people in the chat already, but it's good to see everyone on a Sunday as usual. And I have stuff going in the background that doesn't need to be. There we go. So Bo's here, Scald is here, Patrick Nugent here, Stephen Lightspeed is here. The link got messed up today, so there's probably going to be a few people trickling in now that the alert has gone out. Hopefully the alert went out. But today we have a special guest with Glenn. I'll let you guys go ahead and introduce yourselves.
All right. Well, I'm Glenn.
I'm Uncle Ron.
And today we're Fun King 3D. Typically I'm a father and son team. Now I'm a son and father team. And we can be found everywhere at Fun King 3D, funking3d.com. That's you, Walter.
Oh, is that me? Oh, well, hey everybody, I'm Walter, Kuntry 3D, and this is Mess, my constant sidekick. You can find me everywhere: Facebook, Instagram, whatever. Kuntry 3D, Kuntry 3D. And hey, Brian Vines, he said howdy. He's got on his cowboy hat today. He lives in Texas.
Hey, Brian.
All right. So the chat is now flying. So we have Martin for 3DP Iceland. Magnus, MMPP is here. Hello. Brian Vines. Christopher Manischek is here. WM3D Prince. Hello. Camille is here. Matt, that's Jake from State Farm, I'm guessing. Derek Matthews is here. Jose is here. Not G10 is here. Nullaby 2 is here. How do we decide? Theory? I don't remember how to pronounce that one.
Theory
do
is here. Yeah. And Fred Greer's here. Hello, all.
Oh, we missed Burr Manson and Scalda YT.
Scalda YT, we missed Scalda.
Yeah, Scalda and Bo.
Oh, and Bo. I got them at the beginning, but welcome, guys, anyway.
All right.
And Tristan is here. Hello. Tony Ryan's here.
We are live.
All right. Chris seems to be the only one printing today.
Well, that's because my Prusa is still puked all over the place. I did order myself a new E3D V6 for it, but I haven't put it in yet. This week's activities have been tiling a bathroom.
You know, I didn't know what we were going to talk about today, but you know, they did the year in review on F3D PCH Friday night, and I thought, you know, that's pretty cool because I know Chris's year in review and your year in review and my year in review are vastly different, but we all did a lot of stuff this year.
I would agree with that. Well, I don't know if I did a lot of stuff. I did one main thing that took almost the whole year.
Well, I mean, really and truthfully, though, I mean, for me, I went from one printed printer to 8, 9 printers I have now.
Yeah, that's what happens when you leave them in the room when it's dark and you leave them in the room by themselves.
Okay. We played some Marvin Gaye, too. Did that help any?
Barry
White. Yeah.
Barry White up in there?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, agreed. No, 2018 has been quite the year.
It has been.
Xander just came around the corner and told me to stay family friendly.
Well, you know, that was also brought up on F3D PCH about the drinks and like vaping and stuff like that. And
I know those people who vape need to be, you know, beat.
Anyway, but like me, I was drinking an IBC root beer and I didn't say anything, but to the casual eye, that would have looked like I was just sitting there drinking beer out of a bottle.
Right.
And for anybody that watched that got offended, yeah, I was drinking root beer.
Yeah, I've actually gotten in trouble with the cops. I got pulled over by a cop one time because I was drinking IBC root beer and he thought that I was drinking beer.
Yeah.
And it was late. It was really late at night. It was like 2:30 in the morning or something when it happened. And a friend of mine was in the car and So in the town that I lived in, when you got pulled over by one cop, all the cops came because there was nothing else to do.
Right, right.
And when the fifth cop showed up, he said to me, he goes, if they make us get out of the car, I'm going to fall down like I'm drunk. And I said, well, it doesn't matter. You weren't driving.
Right.
But I mean, there was nothing they could do. I was drinking root beer, but they didn't have anything to do. So they they were trying to find something, but yeah. So, I'm sorry that I missed that stream. I had full intentions on being there, but I started this tiling project 3 days ago, and it's been really long days. But we've been in the house now like 7 or going on 8 years, and I've never tiled my master shower. So it was time.
So Grisilla had the frying pan out. I understand.
Some people say I'm a procrastinator. I'm not. I just like to really plan my projects.
Any project that's done right, you got to look at it for a while. I mean, you got to study that thing.
So I want to pose the question though, to both of you. Chris, what is your biggest accomplishment this year as far as 3D printing goes? That you would think.
Yeah, as far as 3D printing goes, that the actual 3D printing, not support and things like that I do for YouTube content, I would say full-size 3D printed bar stool.
Yeah.
14 full days of printing, almost 6 spools of filament. That's probably one of my biggest accomplishments. I'm pretty proud of that one.
Well, I mean that has to include then putting together the hang printer and getting it running and all that stuff, because that's not an easy thing to do. To set that up, get everything set up right so it at least prints decently.
It is when you're Chris Riley.
Well, yeah, but
12 minutes.
The Chris Riley can pretty much make anything print, but
he went to bed one night and said, I'm going to build me a hang printer tomorrow. And when he woke up, it was done.
Right?
I wish. But yeah, you're right. The hang printing in itself is quite the task. So even that it finished was amazing to me. So that was quite the deal. But there's been so much stuff, But that's like the biggest thing, the biggest single thing I can think of right off the top of my head.
All right, and I think I have a, I think the E12 was Glenn's, but I'm going to let him tell us.
Yeah, I'm not really sure. I mean, I upgraded the Prusa 2 S to the 2.5 by myself. That was pretty exceptional. Well, I turned my A8 into an AM8. That was pretty exceptional. Other than that, I don't think I've done anything big.
Your filament is tied to the A8.
I have to tell. I was just telling Uncle Ron this a little bit ago. The other secret project, I know you guys know what it is, but the people don't know what it is. But the other project that I'm working on required an enclosure, and my goal is to eventually, once the FK1 is fully printing, to print an enclosure for it. But I built it out of wood, and I hadn't worked wood in like a year. I hadn't really done anything in the garage. And so here I went from building this printer with tolerances of 0.1 millimeter. And I'm out there and I'm trying to set the table saw to cut plywood. And I'm like measuring and I'm tapping it. I thought, what am I doing? It doesn't, if it's off by a 1/16 of an inch, nobody's going to know it. I mean, what a difference, going from one world to the other, because the tolerances were so tight building the FK1 compared to everything else. I mean, I'm even feeling it now laying tile. I mean, I'm trying to cut the tile absolutely perfectly, and we all know that grout hides sin. So, it's like, wow, like what a difference. But no, absolutely, FK1 was my crowning jewel of the year. It was 8 months. It was 8 months from, and I can't even say to completion because it isn't complete yet. And Tony Ryan, no, it is not printing something today. It has not even been plugged into AC power since I got home from Orlando Maker Faire. So, but soon, Christmas light season is about over. And yes, I have filmed it. I just need to edit it and get it uploaded. But Christmas light season is almost over, and then I'll kick back into FK1. But I've been off for the last week. I'm off until Wednesday. And I promised myself that I wasn't going to just sit around and do nothing for the week and a half. I wasn't I haven't, I don't know if you guys have even noticed, but I haven't been on Twitter. I've been very quiet. I have not put my butt in that desk chair any more than I've absolutely had to. And I've gotten some stuff done around the house, and I'm sure the wife is quite appreciative. So, I mean, 7 years to tile a shower. Come on.
It's when you tell Miss Casella, say, I'm going to get to it. You don't have to remind me every 6 years.
Well, I started tiling the shower a year and a half ago. It was a year ago, July. And I got a little bit done. And my sister decided she wanted her shower done at the exact same time. And so my shower took a sideline to hers. And it was like by the time I was driving an hour and a half each way to go tile her shower over the weekends. And it was like, at that point, I just decided I didn't want to do any more tiling, and I didn't touch it for all this time. So a year and a half. So, but the good news is it is almost complete. We're pretty close at this point. So
coming together.
But
you got all the tiny stuff.
I'm tired.
Well, Tristan, thank you for answering that question. I was going to whenever Glenn got through talking about tiling his bathroom.
Yes, thank you, Tristan. Appreciate it.
Fun in the country bathroom.
Fun in the country bathroom. Yeah, that's out behind a tree. How much fun are you going to have out behind a tree?
I have to keep this family friendly.
Right. We didn't say in the barn. We said behind a tree.
Oh, alternate James said hello. How you doing?
Michael Cassell is also here. Techie Dad is here. Ken, is it Junge? Junge? J-U-N-G?
Ken Junge?
Junge?
I don't know.
That would be really fancy. I would definitely butcher that. I'm bad with names anyway.
It looks just like the German word for like youngins.
Carl Brown is in the house.
Actually, Matt, I was just a distraction to his work today.
Rodney Lorimore is here. Glenn, I had to quickly mute and leave the room when you mentioned 7 years. I could see my wife starting to form a list of delayed projects. Listen, I have a, I used to run a t-shirt company for those who don't know, but I actually have a shirt. It used the Fun King crown, actually. So it had a crown on it, and then underneath it, it said, King of Unfinished Proj. Because I couldn't even finish the projects on the shirt.
That's funny.
What's up, Carl? Back 3D?
No, my wife is very understanding. I mean, again, 8 months ago, she was like, you need to build that printer. And I'm like, you're right. She didn't say you need to finish the bathroom. She encouraged me to build the FK1.
Well, she thought you just print a shower stall.
Probably could get pretty close. Yeah. And then, of course, Chris Riley keeps releasing these videos of these cool projects. And I'm like, oh, I want to do that. Ooh, I want to do that. That one you did today, Chris, I got a couple of, they're Windows 7 machines, but I'm sure they'll handle it fine. But as opposed to having a Pi on every one of these, I can throw one computer down there in the cabinet, and that opens up 4 Pis for other projects.
Yeah, I haven't tested it with a ton of different USBs plugged into it yet, but I think it'll handle it just fine.
Well, and I mean, with a powered hub, the hubs that I use are made by, I want to say it's either Hootoo or U2. I think it's Hootoo, Hootoo. Mm-hmm. They're about $35 on Amazon. They're rectangular. The new ones now have a 3-amp charge jack on them too. They're fantastic. So I'll throw one of those on there, and I should be able to run all 4 of these off of it.
Yeah,
5 if I put the little guy on there.
Cool.
Carl just wanted to come in and give me a hard time for not streaming yesterday because I did not do morning coffee yesterday. My dad come walking in the house yesterday at like 10:45, and he knocked on our bedroom door and said, "Are you up yet?" I said, "Nope, not yet." That's why there was no morning coffee yesterday, because I didn't even get up for morning coffee yesterday.
Well, that's been one of the things too, being off of work. I've been sleeping in like an hour later every day, which come Wednesday is going to be really, because I don't use an alarm clock.
Right.
I haven't had to use an alarm clock in years. Like
that's me. So
I don't know. My body just knows when, like when I go to sleep, I got to get up at 6 the next morning. I'm awake by 6 the next morning. It's crazy. So we'll see how that happens this week.
I'll shoot you a text on the way to the boat, and then
Phone's muted.
oh, that won't help.
see, that's the thing. I don't either. And when I stay up way later than I'm supposed to, because college football's on the TV, I tend to sleep late sometimes.
Yeah, that's funny because I haven't used an alarm clock in years.
Yeah. But if you intentionally put your sleep schedule off, it will mess your body clock up,
Yeah.
And that's what I did Friday. I had every intention of going to sleep on time.
Chris Riley, what is the most Octopi instances you have ran off a Pi?
If you don't use any cameras, I have successfully done 5, but I really don't recommend doing any more than 4.
So even on like a Windows machine, like you put it on this morning, you don't suggest doing any more than 4?
No, on Windows, I think you could run 20, 30 if you'd like. He was just talking about on a Pi.
Yeah, depending on how much RAM you have in the computer.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm sure that's going to get RAM intensive after a while, but
Yeah, even running Python like that on Windows just doesn't even know that thing's running. I mean, it runs super fast.
Yeah, and with turning off the Windows Update service, that totally helps that, because now you can just leave it running.
Yep.
I mean, I guess it's on the internet, but you could probably kill the internet part of it with a firewall and just leave your intranet running on it and be done.
Yeah.
I leave all my machines running all the time.
Well, all of mine do too. I was just meaning with it being on the internet, need to play with it a bit, but just put it on the intranet and you don't have to worry about anything.
No, but I mean, that's what the firewall is there for. I mean, plus, I mean, if you're behind a router, that's another level of safety.
Yeah, that's true.
So I don't have any of my Octoprint installations open to the outside. I don't feel that it's necessary. If I need to see what's going on, I can use remote desktop. I actually use real VNC, which I thought that was funny that's what you chose as well, Chris. But I remote into this machine and then I just turn on the camera.
Right.
Like I fire up OBS and then I can see what's going on back here.
Yep.
So I want to put 2 IP cameras with pan tilt zoom. Like I want to put one up here so I can see back here, and I want to put one over there to see where the FK1 is going to be, so that I can swing around and see them. Chris Riley, is there some truth in that you get better prints printing directly from SD rather than from Octoprint?
I don't know that there's any truth in that. I have never seen conclusive results either way.
Hey guys, David Randolph's in here.
David Randolph
David.
is in here.
I got to get down there for one of their get-togethers on a Sunday.
I need to get up there at one of their get-togethers on the Sunday.
Well, we'll have to plan that out one weekend.
All these questions to Chris Riley. Chris Riley, have you tried your multi-cam setup with IP cams?
Not with IP cams.
Well, that would take all the load off of the.
Right.
That would take all the load off of Octoprint.
So if you could, there's a way to do it, but you couldn't do it. I'll have to think about that for a minute.
Because like I run an IP cam app on an old Android phone.
Right. So if you wanted to park it in Linux as a device and use it like I show you to use the USB cams in those videos as a actual /dev device, you would have to have another piece of software that captured that IP stream. I don't know. I'd have to think about that a minute, but I think you could, but it's going to take a little bit of work.
I don't understand. What would be the hang up?
So the way I do it, when you plug in something into that Pi, it becomes an automatic TTY device. With an IP cam, you'd have to have something that was a device that lived in Linux to pull that IP stream in.
Yeah, David Randolph said you can do IP cams and change the stream pointer.
Yeah.
But you still have the IP overhead.
Well, I mean, directly in the GUI, you could just put in that IP and pull it in. You could do that.
Oh, I thought that's what we were talking about.
Yeah, well, I'm guessing they're probably talking about how you divide them up multiples in that software, like how I walk through it step by step. But yeah, you could just change them in Octoprint, just add the IP. That would work just fine.
Yeah, you always have to take things to the next level. You can't just leave things alone, can you?
You know, my first run at everything is way overthink it. And then by the end of the day, it's like, oh, that was a lot easier. You know?
But he also says you can't do time lapse with an IP cam either.
Right, and I think that's what. So you can't dump it to a file. You can't stream it like a webcam. Octoprint would a webcam, but you could see it.
Now, I want to say that that's not true. I want to say that I have time lapse with my Android phone running an IP cam software. Maybe you can't use Octolapse, but I think the regular time lapse it'll still grab, because all it's doing is grabbing an image from the camera.
Yeah, that might be true. That's worth a test.
Don't hold me to that, but I'm 99% sure I have time lapses made on the A8 using an Android phone.
Chris will know by next week.
Chris will know in 12 minutes. He's actually working on it using his feet right now under the bench.
Hendry Bosch asked, do you think Windows 10 would be better for a laptop configuration than a Linux setup?
No.
Why do you automatically come back with no?
He said Windows, right?
Yes. You can replace Windows 10 with anything other than Linux, and that question will still be no. I mean,
and that was one of the comments today. Why didn't you do Linux? And the only reason why is because I didn't think anybody would do it. You know, I've got Linux machines, like 3 of them stacked up down there, and they're already running. I could have just done that quick, but
and I think you're right. Well, it depends, man, because the 3D printing community may be ones that lean more towards Linux.
Yeah, they might.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is if you're not, I won't say a super geeky techie, but I mean, really, unless you're super geeky techie, Linux is not the way that you're going to want to go. I mean, there's just, and it's getting better and better and better. You know, I think back to when I first got into it, and like even just basic driver installation was a act of Congress, but you know, so it's gotten a lot better, but Windows 10 is so much easier. And again, chances are if you're doing this, you don't have enough printers to overrun the computer. So Windows 10 will be fine. It just isn't better.
I miss my Amiga too.
Yeah.
Yeah, been on a multicolored benchy kick. Yes, I have. I have quite a few right at the moment.
I make my living writing Windows software, so I stay on Windows constantly. I don't have a reason to be on Linux at all.
Yeah.
No, I have 2 Linux machines. One I use, one I only use when I need it, you know, for testing or whatever. But I have a Linux machine that is my main server here in the house, which runs like my Plex server for my TV and stuff. But otherwise, everybody in the house uses Windows. I mean, I couldn't imagine trying to teach my kids how to use Linux.
Well, Hendry Bosch is correct. Even in Windows, there are commands from the command line that people just don't know anymore.
That is true.
You know, I mean,
well, anybody that didn't come up from the DOS days.
Right. Well, yeah, I mean, because in Windows 3.1.1, it was so much easier to get network and stuff running through the command line than it was to try to use the tools that they had, the rudimentary tools that they had implemented and all that crap.
Oh, yeah.
You know.
Or throw Lantastic on top of it.
Windows for Workgroups, absolutely.
Yeah, and see,
open a window to open a window to open a window to open a window to open.
Yeah, right. And I worked on Unix machines when I worked at Walmart on their big Unix machines up there, and I didn't have any problem with it. Just it's easier to use Windows. It just really is.
Well, it is, but it isn't. I mean, it is because that's what we're all used to. But I'm sure. I mean, like I'm going to use the term hacker and not the one that everybody thinks, you know, but like I hack at a lot of stuff. I mean, I'm sure that Linux is second nature to Chris, but I mean, I'm sure he and I could move through a Linux machine faster than most people can move through a Windows machine.
Well, Chris Ames has got it right. PowerShell's where it's at now with Windows.
Yeah, I haven't played much with PowerShell, but
yeah, I mean, they're all the low-level commands and everything are in PowerShell. I mean, if Chris, and I don't know how much Chris uses PowerShell, but
quite a bit actually.
Yeah, I was fixing to say, you get into PowerShell, I mean, you'll be like, yeah, this is the way it should be.
Yeah, I like to still write batch files and stuff.
Hey, Carl, Novell NetWare.
Yeah,
Novell just worked. It really did.
Yeah. The cool thing about PowerShell is a lot of the Linux commands work in it too.
Right.
Yeah, well, see,
I think that was part of the key.
What's that?
I think that was part of the key was getting Linux users to buy into some of that stuff. Probably was making it similar, you know.
Sorry, James.
But starting years ago, every Windows machine that I had, I immediately write a batch file called ls and throw it in the root, and all it does is call directory. Because I'm so used to typing ls, and then oh yeah, Glenn can't respond to my messages because he's in here hanging out with his internet friends. Typical. When did you message me, James? By the way, hello, James. My brother.
Chris, you were talking about having those run without the command window. You could just set up Windows services to run when the Windows boots, right?
Yeah, I was being really lazy, and I didn't want to show how to set it up as a service.
God, I'm so disappointed now.
I kind of like having them open anyway, but it kind of helps me keep track of what's going on. But
well, you know what you need to do though? You need to write it as a service, and then some way you can command line in to tail it like you do in Linux. Okay. So you can tail the commands in
or you can just run it on Linux.
Well, yeah, and those projects, you know, like that, when you're showing that, it's like, how far do I take it? You know,
right.
It's already 18 minutes long.
Yeah, but the thing is that's the perfect kind of content that can branch off into additional content later. You know, just like I'm not going to show you how to do cameras unless you beg for
it. Well, that's why he wrote it that way. So he can come back and go, now let me show you how it really should be set up.
I was just playing the first time.
I was just getting your toes wet. The water was a little tepid, so I was getting your toes wet. Now we're going to dive right in off the deep end.
That's right.
The ice bath.
Nacho FPV says, how can I use my Windows PC and webcam to make time-lapse of prints without the Raspberry Pi? And it just so happens today's a perfect day. Go check out Chris's latest video from this morning. That was this morning, right? The days are all running together.
That is true, but you can even do it without Octoprint. You can buy the time. There's free time-lapse software for Windows with a camera, and you just hit start whenever you start your print, and it'll sit there and do a time-lapse for you without even having Octoprint or anything else up.
Oh, was it this morning? It was this morning, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, I just literally my day. I've been working until like 10 o'clock at night on this stupid project, so it's like it's all just a big blur. And then I was bad, and I didn't go to church today. My wife goes, and then I get a text from her. Look who I found.
Right.
I mean, he's been in town for like a week now, but he doesn't call.
How's that video coming?
What?
How's that video coming?
Which video?
The one from across the street in the bed of the truck. You know,
I told you I got it filmed. I just have to put the audio into it because you can't really hear the music that's playing. So, and there's actually a clip in about 6 minutes into the video. A guy drove by. He had to have been going 100 miles an hour. Like you'll see when I post the video, you'll see the cars drive by, and they're like, this guy, you can hear him coming, and it's like, and he's gone. He was just screaming down the road. It's a 45-mile-an-hour speed limit, by the way.
Yeah.
Hello, Happy Ron.
Hey, Happy Ron. Chris Riley, do you think Octoprint would run off a netbook like a Chromebook?
So you could, but you couldn't run it native. You would have to go do the secret handshake and get it to boot up in recovery mode or whatever they call that.
Yeah.
And then you could actually have a little virtual environment that ran Linux, and you could run it like that.
Well, Chris typed it directly in a G code, right?
Yeah. Chris would just do it all by G code. Marlin codes.
You know, if he could throw something through that camera, hit me in the head, he would.
That's why we do this so far apart.
Tristan asked me, was I going to be opening any of the boxes behind me? Which boxes? The Alien 3D boxes?
Stuff that's got stuff in it.
All the Alien boxes have been opened.
Yeah, I gotta get back on the Alien box subscription train.
I got 2 of my Christmas presents for my Christmas presents in, and I put those up. I did do that. I got a pot rack. I don't know how many of y'all have it where you hang the pots overhead, because I got a new set of pots and pans.
We talking about the kind you cook with, or
yeah, those pots. Yes.
Yeah.
I wouldn't know about the other kind.
Yeah, I'm over 6 foot tall. I don't hang anything overhead.
Well, mine are over like a bar cabinet counter that we have that sticks out into the middle of the kitchen. So I hung it right over that. But I got a new set of pots and pans, and instead of stacking them in the cabinet, so because they're non-stick, every time you slide them in and out of each other, you're tearing up the bottoms of them. I hung them all. And I also got a new set of knives, not the one that I posted the link to, but a new set of knives. And I hate that, because Chris was going to buy me that $1,200 set of knives.
Well, you told me you already had a set, so I figured I would.
I know, right? I know.
Somebody asked if the Snappy was a lost cause, or if it's actually getting a little better. I don't say it's ever going to be great, but it's better than when we had the stream. There should be some updates on that, hopefully.
So you're not going to make it your workhorse printer?
Yeah.
That looks like a Stanley Cup.
If I can get 40, 50 prints out of it, I'll call it good.
You need to print another Snappy from that Snappy.
I'm going to try.
And see if you can improve the print quality enough so that it's better than the one you printed the first time.
No, that's a stretch.
Yeah, Terry. They were $1,200, not $1,500.
Tube goes all the way to the hot end.
It was a complete set of Shun knives. And for those of you that don't know, that's like best of the best, I guess.
Yeah.
So I just realized that when I ordered this E3D, I ordered a hardened nozzle, and it's not here. That's the standard nozzle.
Oh.
It didn't come with it?
No.
Sounds like somebody needs to contact E3D.
Oh, I bought it from Amazon.
A mini snapper, keep it going like nesting dolls.
I was going to order from Printed Solid, but I had credit on Amazon, and now it's biting me in the butt, isn't it?
Well, now you could get one of Slice Engineering's new nozzles, lifetime warranty. Well,
and they're what, like $36? The hardened nozzle was $20. So I mean,
yeah, it's 34.
That's actually not a bad deal to get the lifetime nozzle.
Did you get the unobtainium coated one?
Unobtainium?
Yeah.
That's just a regular hardened steel nozzle.
Because they got that coated one that nothing sticks to or something, right?
Yeah, the Dave Randolph just said, "Yep, now you've learned your lessons." Yes, it was just because I had a credit with Amazon.
Hey, I like Sean Gould. He said maybe Chris can get me those knives for Easter. I like you, Sean. You should subscribe to my channel.
Sorry, Dave. It'll never happen again.
Yeah, Bo, that is the definition of insanity. You are correct.
Happy New Year, Paul Cumber.
Hey, Paul.
Hello, Paul Cumber.
Well, okay, so we did the end of the year look back. So goals for 19. And I'm not saying hard, fast goals. I mean, just, things you think you might be doing in 19.
Well, again,
I appreciate it.
I told you guys last week that, I haven't really put out any content. The Xander Sing Thursdays have still been coming out, but otherwise I haven't really been putting out any content just because of my schedule lately. And I've gained like 20 subscribers. So I think my goal for 2019 is just not to make any content.
So you think they're rewarding you for not showing up?
They're like, thank God the ugly bald guy quit talking. I can watch the channel now and just see the kid.
Well, Tony Ryan, it's funny you say that, because for 2019, that is one thing that I do want to do. I do want to get some type of laser, either engraver or cutter, I don't know yet, cutters are expensive, engravers are cheap. I want to get a CNC of some type. And I don't know if I'm going to go with the mostly printed CNC or an actual, store-bought CNC. So those are a couple of things I really want to get into. Plus getting my new studio set up. That'll be like the first thing of the new year. So
yeah, that's a good way to break in the year. A new setup.
We got to build the FK2 now, right?
FK2. No, I do want to finish my mostly printed CNC though.
Is that in the drawer down there?
Oh, it's in a bag around here somewhere. But well, I started that just as a cover for the FK1.
Okay.
Just to have something to talk about. That I was working on a project, but really I was doing research for the FK1. But
Terry said can't say enough good things about the MPCNC. And Tony Ryan says, bet you can get an MPCNC running before Glenn does, Walter.
Ouch.
Brandon Techie Dad was asking about bot queue. I have no idea what that is. I've never used it.
The bot queue, what?
Yeah, I don't.
It's like a horn beeping.
I'm having private conversations with my brother James.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
it
see
is.
him in here.
OMG, I saw you on the internet.
Yeah, James said his first project of the new year is a 3D printed printer that he's going to release to everybody. I'm still waiting on that, James. I was supposed to build that like 4 months ago.
Yeah, so
What
this
you got, Chris?
yeah in 19. I'm tired.
I have that problem too.
You got the 19 yet.
Making videos is hard.
People don't realize that.
Yeah, I'm kind of running out of ideas for content, like smaller video. Hey, this is how you can do this, and I'm running into larger things that take more than a week to do. So I'm kind of on the fence with that, but people offer a lot of ideas, so I'll have stuff in between there. But I'm definitely interested, like you guys, in CNC. E3D tool changer is going to be huge this year. Whenever
I would agree with that, yeah.
Whenever that comes back around, there's a handful of things that are going to be really interesting. Multicolor, we haven't seen the last of that. We're still gonna trudge on with that for the next couple of months. I'm sure there will be more offerings. Murph is gonna. I mean, I'm kind of running towards Murph now. The beginning of the year, it's like it's only 3 more months, 4 more months.
Yeah.
That's gonna be awesome. So,
Yeah, it seems like it's a long way off, but it really isn't. It's
No.
gonna be here before we know it.
Chris and Glenn, questions for Murph. Glenn, you going to Murph again this year?
Yes, sir.
So what are y'all's plans? I know you're bringing the FK1. I'm assuming you are anyway.
No, the FK1's bringing me.
Okay. Well, you're going to put wheels in the engine on the FK1 and drive it to
Oh
Murph.
no, I don't know how it's getting itself there. I just know that I was invited by the printer.
Oh, I got you. So, Chris, are you doing any projects for Murph, or are you just going to show up and like let your light shine?
Hey, it's me. Pretty much that. Yeah. I thought about shipping some stuff to Murph. Like we talked about, if I do actually produce another Snappy off of Snappy, we would put that together at Murph.
I got you.
So that could be interesting if we can make it happen. We'll see. We'll see what I can get there. But mostly it's just going to be me hanging out, looking at other people's stuff.
Okay. Yeah, I think I may bring both of these, the Kuntry Bow and the Hypercube. I don't think I'm bringing my Prusa again, and I don't really have anything else to bring. So I'll probably bring those just to set them up and let them be printing while I'm there.
Yeah, Uncle Ron's
but
trying
other
to
than
talk
that-
me into getting a sponsor table.
What's that?
Uncle Ron's trying to talk me into getting a sponsor
Chris,
table.
did you get a sponsor table, Chris?
Yeah. Well, I am a sponsor, but I told them is like I don't know what you want to do with the table, but we'll figure it out.
Okay, because I'm after we get done with the stream, I'll talk to you about it because I may do the same thing.
Yeah.
Maybe we can get them like close together. If we can get them to set us like close
Yeah,
together.
you guys
that way
should get a sponsor table side by side and then just leave them be and I'll take them.
right? I hear you.
Because I need more than one, and I don't want to pay for two sponsor tables.
James said he's got a sponsor table this time.
Wow, we are all just like moving up in the world.
Well, I mean, with all these people with sponsor tables, I don't need to spend that money. Hell, I'll just get my ticket and go, man. I'll save you a table, Chris. That'll be your sponsor table. I'll be like, here's Chris Riley's table.
Benchies for everyone. I probably have almost enough benchies for everyone.
Well, I'll tell you what. I'll just make sure I have the G code that we can. I'll change it so it says Chris Riley on the bottom, and we can just print Chris Riley benchies at Murph.
Yeah, somebody'd probably be pretty upset about that.
I don't know. I know the guy that designed it. He'd probably be all right.
Chris, you're flying to Murph?
Yes, I am.
Well, if you have no place to ship it there, ship it to my house and I'll drive it out in the truck.
All right. Yeah, I was kicking that around. I didn't know if I could ship it to CNC, somebody there or something like that. But yeah, if it's not too huge, I might just ship it out to you and let you bring it in.
There should be plenty of room in the back of the truck.
Cool.
I'm not bringing an FK1.
That's good.
You don't know that.
That's true too. I might be taking one home.
Hey, there's Matt from How I Do It. How are you, Matt?
Holy no, there's a Ron.
Hello, Matt.
Ron came to the house today. I said, "You gonna be here at 4?" And he's like, "I can be." And I'm like, "Awesome, fun in the country basement."
Yeah. And TK's 3D prints came in too.
It's always fun to have guests, but it's really fun to have guests like in the studio.
Well, unless your studio's the size of mine and you're sitting in each other's lap.
You did just
I can sit in your lap, Walter.
No, you kicked me in the butt. Oh, wait, that wasn't me.
You're right. It wasn't you. It was supposed to be you.
It was supposed to be me. Matt says he just acquired 5 new printers.
FK2 with 25-foot shipping container.
FK2.
What do you mean? Yeah, I'll just make a 25-foot shipping container into a printer.
Why not just go for a 40-foot container?
There you go, and just make it a printer. The floor's the bed.
Hey, that's a pretty great idea. I might have to work on that.
See, that's kind of what I was expecting out of Chris Riley before the end of 19, is just to see pillars in the back corner behind him that are actually the support rails for his whole room as a 3D printer.
Yeah, and he does his whole show while riding the
hot end
head.
That's
Yeah, sitting on the print.
Dodging it,
Paul, I have not yet, but that's only because I have not gone to the post office. In fact, I haven't really left the house in the last week and a half.
Well, because there's no lock you in.
Red Light Mike, hello.
In the studio. Ben, you come here. You're welcome to hang out in the studio anytime you want, brother.
Does Briggs and Stratton make stepper motors? Wait, $60 plus 1 hour. 3D printing lessons 3.
Wow, that's I don't know what a Creality CR7 is.
I've never heard of that. No.
But that's yeah, $60 in 1 hour of time for that. That's a pretty good cash in right there.
Just for the last 2. What's up, whatever maker?
Oh, here comes Ben throwing down the cash.
Throwing down money. Thank you, Ben. 5 years. I had a great Christmas. I am glad it's over. But hopefully 2019 is going to be awesome for us all.
I hope so. Yeah, somebody said earlier you should hit 10,000. That was Ben, I think. 10,000 subscribers by January.
If this is a time to remember fun but a bit awkward moments, I have one. That's from Bo. Lay it on us. We like fun. Awkward's fine. I do want to give a shout out though to Chris Riley, because Chris Riley completely laid down my PayPal account. So bad that they considered the email spam. I'm not sure how that happened, Chris, but but it is greatly appreciated, brother.
You are welcome. I was going to hit you on a stream. I hit Walter probably like a month ago, and I wanted to hit you as well. So
don't worry, I'm going to hit you when I see you too.
Totally fair. Totally fair.
I'll probably get you real drunk first so you can't run very fast.
How do you start a YouTube channel? I'm just starting and need help. Can you give some advice? Yeah, don't do it. Run as fast as you can in the other. No, I'm kidding. That's not good advice. It's really easy. You just create an account on YouTube and you start uploading videos. And the biggest piece of advice that I can give you is be yourself. Make the videos that you want to make. Make them how you want to make them. Upload them. Don't give 2 shakes of a dog's tail what other people say about your content. Just keep uploading it. Eventually, your audience will find you and you will grow. Is that good? Is that good?
That's good. Pretty good.
Mike, that's a good question because the table that I got last year cost me $0. And according to my table where I was at, I was right beside Printed Solid, and they were against the wall, and they had probably as little, if not less, room than I did. And I'm assuming that theirs was a sponsored table.
Absolutely.
Because the sponsored tables are against the wall.
Well, and being a business.
Yeah, and right, being a business, and I'm not a business, so I don't know. Yes, Nacho FPV, that program is just for time lapse, and I don't remember the name of it. I used it 6 months ago, and then I didn't use it anymore. It did work. I just didn't take the time to set it up correctly, and I didn't want to have to hit go on my prints. So, to answer your question, Mike, I don't know that there is a big difference other than, helping keep the event going.
Well, and you're guaranteed a table.
Right. You are guaranteed
first
a table.
Come, first serve. You may show up and all the tables be taken. Plus, those tables are supposed to be 2 or 3 people to a table.
Yeah, it's supposed to be 4 feet, right?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
So,
but I mean, even the sponsor table is only 4 foot, though, right?
It better not be. It better be full 8 feet because that printer takes up every bit of a 6-foot table.
But I thought it was the. I'm not sure. It may be 8 feet.
I'm gonna have to look back because I reached out to John and asked about spacing and stuff. But
okay, sponsors get 8 feet.
What I don't understand is like the first tier and the second tier of sponsorship, it's twice the price, but the description is exactly the same. Yeah. I don't know what you get for double your money.
Maybe double the space.
I don't know. When I asked about space, they just said that even the sponsor tables are a first come, first serve. Even sponsor tables? Yep.
Wow, that's kind of weird. I mean, if you're paying for that space, I mean, first come, first serve would suck.
Well, you're paying for space along the wall, but you're not paying for a specific space.
I was fixing because James said in the main areas on the walls, but that's, I mean, if I was in a main area last year because Printed Solid was beside me, that's not the greatest area to be in because it was cramped in our corner.
Yeah, so bad. Well, that building is just too small for.
Oh, plus you get your name on the banner.
Right.
But wait.
Paul, I will not be building another 3D printer this year. At least I don't think I will be.
The FK10.
Okay, Glenn, since Chris is not going to the Ohio thing for IC3D, he's got to get to Murph Thursday and camp out so we get a good table.
I agree with that.
Right. Okay.
If you get in early enough on Friday morning, you're okay.
Yeah. Well,
that's when I went in with John last year.
Yeah.
Man, we didn't get there till 1 or 2 on Friday. And I mean, we could have gotten a table up front. None of the middle area tables, there was like 3 of them taken when we got there at 1 or 2 on Friday.
Yeah, I was with you, Duet, John at like 8 o'clock in the morning. We got in there and every table was empty for the most part. We went and picked whatever we wanted.
Yeah. Use the FK1 as the table.
Could do that.
Well, I'll tell you what, Orlando Maker Faire this year was completely different than anything that I've ever done. You know, like I haven't exhibited a lot, but you know, setting up at IRF and stuff, that because I finally had something to you know legitimately show off. That was crazy. That was crazy.
We now have a sponsored table. So you're covered one way or another.
Oh, apparently I have a sponsored.
Well, it's in my name at the moment. We'll switch that up later.
Uncle Ron's too good to
Boss, the event we're talking about is the Midwest RepRap Festival in March, isn't it?
It is. It's at the end of March. Yeah, it's like the last weekend of March.
Yeah.
29th, I believe.
Chris disappeared.
Yeah, and if there's any one 3D printing show that, like, if you can only go to one the whole year, you have to consider Murph or Earth.
Yeah.
Because if you're all about the 3D printing, the maker fairs are awesome, but there's not enough 3D printing compared to Murph and Earth. So the Ohio thing, IC3D, which I'm sporting their shirt today, IC3D, is hosting a, what are they calling it? Is it just a mixer?
Yeah, it's a pre-Murph mixer or something like
Meet
that.
and greet.
Yeah. On Thursday. All the details haven't been released yet, but just to kind of get a tour of what IC3D does and how they do it, and get to hang out with those guys. And a regular exhibitor table at Earth was free. I don't think there was a charge for
Correct.
a table at Earth.
Walk in, find a spot.
Wait, there was a cost to get in though, right?
No, it's free too.
Not at Earth.
No, Earth.
Oh, Earth, no. I think Murph was. Yeah, Earth was.
Murph was free.
Earth you had to pay, but you got a table. But you could get a table if you wanted one.
Yeah, Earth was like 15 or 25 bucks.
Yeah, it wasn't much, but
yeah.
Fun King 3D goal for 2019: build materials, video, and full build spec for the FK1. Yeah, that's actually I plan to do that within the next few months. Actually, so not even for the whole 2019, but in the beginning half of it. I was hoping to have it out by Murph, but I don't know if that's going to happen. Not until that thing is printing properly.
My we got a thunderstorm moving in and my power's flashing.
At least till Farts gets going.
Yeah, right. At Pupil, yes, the tables at Murph are first come, first serve. So unless you're a sponsor and then you're guaranteed a table, just not, against the wall or
not a
of your
specific
choosing.
table.
Right. Yeah, Farts is a long way off though.
Farts? No, we already had the first inaugural Farts, so we can have more than one per year.
Yeah, but if you want to do it like Murph or Earth, then yeah, it's going to be different.
Did I see they were pushing Earth till October?
Yes.
Yeah.
Which actually may make it where I can't go.
Could you be at Orlando?
No, because I have work and the kids have school, and so
yeah, that's the biggest thing. Which I have to say, in March, for us, it's the same way. If my wife comes, either we leave my daughter here by herself, or we don't go. Because it doesn't coincide with her spring break, so she's not coming to Indiana.
Yeah. David Randolph said, "I like having multiple farts. Very refreshing." Well, for those of you who don't know, the first farts took place the Saturday night of Orlando Maker Fair, in the room of a Golden Corral. And when we had left out of there and we're driving back to the hotel, my lovely wife and my two children and I started laughing to the point where I almost couldn't see. And they were like, "What's so funny?" And I said, "Well, you go to Golden Corral for the farts and you leave with the..."
Yeah, right.
Hashtag Golden Corral.
All right. Hey, Chris, on your log printer, did you do a video leading up to that benchy print that you've got there?
I did.
You did? So we're going to see that video and all that coming out later at a later date?
Yes. I just finished it today. I'm way behind on content, so it will be out pretty soon.
Yeah. So we're not going to talk about what that's going to be about?
Well, I think everybody's been asking me for this video for a while, and it's the reason why it's because it's complicated. But this printer is currently running Clipper, and the Clipper install, not so easy. but there will be a step-by-step video on how to get that done.
All right.
A plywood printer.
Yeah, that's MDF, isn't it?
This,
The log.
it's the Y is MDF and the gantry is 8mm oak plywood.
Oh,
8mm oak plywood.
Techie Dad asked, am I going to publish the building material for the FK1? Absolutely. It is going to be released open source to the world. I was hoping to have a full build manual, but I don't know how that's going to go yet. But yeah, the building material is going to be out there. All the files will be out there.
All the file shavings are in the garage.
All the file shavings. Yeah, there are still quite a bit of aluminum shavings in the garage, but
I don't know what kind of Golden Corral y'all are going to. Kit says he doesn't go to Golden Corral enough to have full immunity yet, and he was paying for it after Saturday night. I don't know what's wrong with y'all's Golden Corrals.
It's so much processed food in a Golden Corral that
look, I eat steak and rolls when I go to Golden Corral. That's it. That's it.
Well,
That's all I go for.
It's funny because a lot of times we've eaten at the one on the far end of International Drive quite a few times, and the food quality is not nearly as good as others. The one that we ate at in Orlando was not bad. Like the steak was really good and it was tender and it was good. So you got to be careful what the ones down on I-Drive, they know it's a bunch of tourists and that the people will never be back and they don't care. You know, like even the service sucks in that one.
Dude, you have no idea, man. We used to go with friends of ours to Shoney's in Missouri, right? On their seafood night. And they would go because it was the best seafood around.
Oh my gosh.
I believe that.
We went like 2 weeks after we got to Arkansas, leaving Florida and going up there to work at Walmart. And they took us up there and they're like, man, it's got all the seafood. And they had shrimp and some catfish fillets. And the thing is, when you ate the shrimp, it tasted like you were just drinking a bottle of iodine.
Oh.
And I'm like, what? Because the lady asked me when we checked out. She's like, well, how was everything? I said, it tasted like shit. And she goes, why would you say that? I said, well, we just moved from Florida, so we had fresh seafood, not this. She goes, oh, never mind. Okay. But then I've seen the opposite as well. I've seen people come from places inland and sit down and eat shrimp or scallops or something, and they're like, there's something wrong with this. This is going off or something.
Yeah, because it's not processed enough.
Right, because it's fresh seafood.
Scott Hackmonkey's right. Shoney's was all about the breakfast buffet.
Right.
Okay, so I got to tell a story about Shoney's and their breakfast buffet, and this is going way back. I mean, like 100 years ago. I was 16 years old, and the girl that I was dating at the time, I want to say it was right before she went in to have knee surgery. She, you know, like she said to me, I want to go and have breakfast and stuff before I'm pretty sure it was the knee surgery. And so I'm like, okay, sure. And so we go to Shoney's for the breakfast buffet, and the bill comes to the table, and I just kind of pick it up and peek at it. And she goes, what's the matter? Do you have enough? And I said, what do you mean, do I have enough? You invited me to breakfast. You're paying. And she's like, well, I don't have any money. And I'm like, I don't have any money. And so here we are. We've already eaten, and 16 years old in a restaurant. I have no idea what to do. And this is going to blow some people's mind, but this was before you could pay for things with a debit card.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
So you guys remember that?
Oh yeah.
And so I said to her, I'm going to have to run down to the bank. I had my mom's debit card for emergency purposes, which to me, this was an emergency, you know? And so I had to run down to the bank and and get some cash. And I'm not going to lie, as I'm driving from the restaurant to the bank, I kept saying to myself, I don't have to go back.
Well, she couldn't chase you. She needed knee surgery.
Right.
Well, I had a car. She didn't. She was stuck in the restaurant.
That's messed up, man.
Cool color, Chris.
Messed up.
Oh, those were the days.
Yeah, these are kind of neat.
Me and Regina did something similar, but we went to, I don't know if y'all remember it or not, but Wendy's used to have the super buffet. It was 99 cents, and it was tacos and just whatever what they had on it.
At
right?
Wendy's?
At a Wendy's, yes, at Wendy's. So me and Regina went in, and we had 99 cents to our name because we had just put every dime we had in the car for gas to get back to Georgia. So we go in, we got 99 cents, and the girl goes, "It'll be $1.07." I said, "I got 99 cents." So she let us pay for 99 cents, and we shared that buffet, which you're not supposed to do,
Right.
and a glass of water, which was filled up with Coke. So, yeah, no, I've been that broke thing before.
Oh yeah.
I just love it when people go, "Man, I've only got like $200 in the bank. I'm broke." I'm like, "No, brother, that ain't broke."
No, I can remember getting crackers and ketchup from
Right.
fast food restaurants to have something to eat.
Oof.
Get a bunch of packets of ketchup.
Yeah, David Reynolds said I miss Wendy's buffet. I never knew that Wendy's had a buffet.
Really?
That's crazy. So
Yeah,
Chris,
there you
I noticed it too, and I thought maybe it was just me, but other people are saying it too, that your screen is flashing out gray.
Yeah, no, it's Chris's does. It's been blinking in and out gray.
Like flickering in and out. Just so
Yeah.
you know. I mean, there's not much you can do about it now. But
It's probably OBS webcam.
so probably buggy ass piece of software.
Well, he actually has a biological camera, so it's actually blinking.
Oh, it actually has eyelids.
That's what it is. Its third eye is dirty. I do want to ask you a question. How many of you have watched Bird Box yet? In the chat. I don't think these guys have watched it yet. In the chat.
Watched what?
Bird Box.
You
don't get on Facebook. You don't get on Facebook, so don't even worry about it.
Not very often.
I just posted a picture about the Michigan players watching their football game against us with it. And Matt thought
Dave Reynolds said it's his Windows 10.
and see this is everybody says it's like one of the best. I would say that it's a mediocre suspense thriller at best. So, yeah, Christopher says, "What is Bird Box?" Tony Ryan said he's eating at Jack in the Box. But no, it's a big movie that's going around on Netflix, and Netflix had there was like 45 million views of this video the first weekend. And our daughter came home and she's like, "Y'all gotta watch this. It's the best movie ever." Right? So me and Regina watched it, and it's okay. But the kids are going like it's the best movie ever since sliced bread, man. I just wanted to see what people thought about it. And I know Chris watches so much TV that he's had to have watched it twice already.
Oh yeah, my free time through the roof.
So Glenn, when do you start taking your Christmas decorations down?
It plays Auld Lang Syne at midnight on New Year's.
Uh-huh.
And then it does not light back up. So pretty much then.
Okay.
I know we took a look at it tonight.
Yeah, you better watch them tonight.
Regina took down all the inside ones today. So
yeah, Grisilla did that yesterday. We're Christmas free inside, but I put way too much work into the outside to run it any less than I do. But yeah, I programmed Auld Lang Syne to play at midnight back a couple years ago, and it's a real upbeat like techno version of it, and the lights flash and it's crazy, and nobody's ever seen it but Grisilla and I.
Well, Matt says he likes how none of us can pronounce his last name. He may have to go back to Jake. Well, I mean, it can be Mathosian.
I thought his last name was from State Farm.
Well, yeah, Jake's is, but Matt's is Mathosian, I think.
I thought his first name was Jake and his last name was Matt.
Well, no, well, maybe.
Mathosian.
Mathosian.
Hey, I learned how to pronounce Sholm. I can learn that one.
Mathosian. I mean, where do you want the accent at? Mathosian. Mathosian was close. Okay. At Hosian. Yeah, no, I'm not, Martin. You can have your name, bud.
We don't even have a letter for what's in that thing.
No.
That's some alien writing.
Klingon.
Oh, I win. I win the internet.
Mathosians.
I don't remember what I said. But
I don't remember what you said either.
Methosian.
Go back and watch it again.
Yeah. John Dallas.
Yeah, when Martin
Sigurdsson.
when Martin gave me the landscape, and I was like, he told me how to say it, ha 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 ha, and so when I made that video about it, I took the clip of him saying it in his video where he painted it, and I stuck it in there because there's no way I could say whatever that is.
I would sprain my tongue.
Right?
Germans cannot say my last name. Oh, they can't say alchemy?
It's probably Smith.
And I guess I got Sean Dallas's right.
Good looking.
Things are good, 3D printing Viking.
I say you gotta watch that. Okay, go on already.
I got it.
You got it?
Yeah.
I got it.
I seen that you got the other one too, but
Yeah.
what was wrong with that?
It's actually, I don't know what he meant by it. And with
AJ said Germans cannot say my last name, and then he said Germans can't say my last name
for free.
Free. Yeah. Okay.
But you see his username, right?
Well, maybe he is.
Maybe so.
Okay, well there you go.
And then he says Peter North here, but he's also using all caps. So, and I don't think he's in a situation like Sean. I know how to pronounce your last name. I forgot.
So Walter, I don't think we ever got around to you. What was the biggest thing for 18 and what's going on in 19?
Biggest thing for 18 was my weight gain.
How is that 3D printing related? Did you print that guy?
He was eating the filament.
I was eating snacks while I was 3D printing.
Eating the proto pasta?
I was eating some pasta. No, I mean, I did. I printed 2 printers and went to Murph, and everybody liked my printer. So we went ahead, and the country club helped me to get together and print another, So, I mean, those were 2 really big things. But I think that the biggest thing for me in 2019 that was 3D printing related was, one, the growth of my YouTube channel, but not just the growth, the group that it grew with.
The creation of the 3D Country 3D or Country
the
Club.
Creation of the country club itself and the people that are in it. Because I'm sorry, and I have to brag, they're a great group of guys.
Absolutely.
They really are. They go around. I mean, they're cordial. They ask poignant questions. They answer them like when you're streaming or something. I mean, it's really nice. It really is. So.
Yes, Walter is already in 2019.
Yeah.
You said the big thing for 2019, but we all knew what you said.
My bad. But yeah, for 2018 now, and
David Randolph said he discovered a hotbed set at 100 degrees Celsius is perfect for cooking hot pockets.
Heck yeah, that's right.
It's like the first thing you learn.
The pizza printer.
Well, thank you, Martin.
I don't know what it is. All these 3D printing people are getting fat.
Bo, the problem with multi-streaming using services like Restream is that YouTube frowns on that.
Now, I've heard that, but I've also heard that there's not an issue with it. So,
well, actually, it's in their what do you call it? Their community guidelines or whatever.
I don't know. I have to look into that.
Terms of service.
I mean, I don't understand how they would allow Restream to use their API if that was the case. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If only they would give smaller channels a representative that we could ask these questions to. But you have to be huge to get a rep.
Yeah, 100,000 subscribers first, right?
They just changed the subscriber limit again, didn't they?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, and Twitch. There you go. Iceland 3D. Martin says Twitch also has a policy about it.
Yeah, I don't want to multi-stream anyway.
Me neither. I don't mind doing multi people on a stream, but yeah, streaming to multiple platforms at one time. I've watched a couple people that do that, and it's hectic, especially if you're trying to keep up with chat like we do.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever even seen it done. I don't think I've ever been on Twitch.
Well, there's a football person that I watch I did watch. I no longer watch because he's I'm not even gonna say what he is, but it was a former UF player that has a YouTube podcast Twitch channel, and he streams to all of them at one time, and he tries to keep up with all of them at one time, and he really sucks at it really bad. So they know, Bo. They can tell, man. There are smarter people than me that work there.
Brian, hello. How's it going? Thanks for joining the stream.
Is Epic Mealtime still a thing? I don't know what Epic Mealtime is.
Mealtime gets around it by having multiple cameras, so they don't technically
there you go.
The same content to both.
That would be great if I had more than 1.5 megabit output.
Yeah, that wouldn't work on your That won't work on your network, but yeah, technically 2 PCs and 2 cameras, even if they were sitting side by side, that would absolutely work.
Absolutely, Chris. Absolutely, I am having fun spinning my T-handle.
Walter, just plug your phone cord into a carrier pigeon, and you'll increase your speed by about threefold.
You are correct. I was looking today, and AT&T started announcing the 5GE or whatever it is. So I'm like, you know what? If we get 5G down here and I can get a 5G modem, that would double my up, or more than way up. Like I'd get like 50 out.
It blows my mind that you can get that kind of cell service down there, but you can't get more than DSL to the house.
It's easier to get signal across the air than it is across the ground.
Yeah. 5G pigeons.
No, well, I'm gonna have to upgrade my Comcast to unlimited, which I think is a crock because it was never limited before, and all of a sudden, boom, there was a terabyte a month limit. But my son has taken to Google Hangouting with his friends while he's playing video games. So he'll be on Google Hangouts like 10, 12 hours a day. Ooh. Yeah, it's killing my bandwidth. So all of a sudden I'm halfway through the month and I get a notice, hey, you've used 90% of your data. So that's going to cost me $50 a month.
Edisher Jorgadzi. Hi, Chris. Any opinions on the Ender 5?
Yeah, I don't have any current opinions on the Ender 5. Quite frankly, I've kind of stopped chasing 3D printers. I mean, I never really tried very hard, but the Ender 3 was very unique because of its price point. But it's so much work reviewing a printer, and then you have to schedule some time to put it together and unbox it and everything. So I've kind of stopped looking a little bit, except the stuff that comes out that's like you've never seen one of those.
Right.
When you see something like that FT6, that's pretty unusual. So I really don't have an opinion on Ender 5 yet. I don't know much about it at all.
Well, I mean, I've seen a couple videos and the print quality is good, but I mean, the Ender 3, the CR10, I mean, they all have decent print quality. So I didn't expect anything less from the Ender 5. When they put it out, I expected it to print well, just like the others have.
Yeah.
You know? But does it have the same flaws and everything that the others have? I don't know.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you.
He's done. Sorry, guys. He's done.
Yep.
See ya.
Ender 3 or CR10S. You're not going to beat Ender 3 on price, but I really like the CR10 machines versus the Ender machines. They're the same company, but I think they put a little more effort into the CR10s.
I think you're right. Just because of the race to the bottom.
Yeah.
That Ender 3 was, here's what we can put together for this money.
What Matt said. Matt said, I don't like this honky guy, which if you don't really know what's going on, that statement right there seems like really racist.
Yeah. Yeah, so when that comes back, if they're watching this later and the chat comes up, because the guy that we deleted won't be there, they're gonna be like, "What?"
Wow, that Matt guy's really racist against white people.
Go ahead, Walter. Delete Matt. You did it to me.
Yeah, right. That's right, Matt. That was a fail, buddy. But it was a hilarious fail, and I'm pretty sure it was hilarious to everybody.
Everybody who knows what it was.
Right. Oh, that's so funny. Nobody goes back and watches these streams anyway. I'm surprised there's anybody in here watching them while they're live.
Yeah.
I think my father's tuned in.
There you go. Hack Monkey said it. Chris put out that the Ender 5, it was an Ender 5 with a more stable frame. Ender 3 with a more stable frame.
All righty.
I got an Ender 3 at home I got to put together.
And somebody told me a while ago that if I had 4G, then I should get 20 megabit upload. The problem is that I use Cricket, and Cricket is the no contract version of AT&T, and they cap it at 3. They cap your download at 10 and your 8 and your upload at 3 on that. Even though it's unlimited and they never actually throttle you, you'll never go under that. It's still 3 megabit over a cellular connection. So I was watching a video and somebody said AT&T come out with a new $65 a month one, but then you get throttled at 23 gigabytes. The problem is I don't think I would ever do 23 gigabytes on my live streams because there is no throttle on uploads. It's only on downloads. So I don't know that I would ever get throttled. So it may be worth looking into the that instead of trying to get DSL run to my camper, the RV. I don't know. I'm still weighing options.
Is Ron going to change his name back to Hug It, Bug It, Plug It, Snug It again?
No, actually, I registered the YouTube channel as, I think it was Uncle Ron's 3D Pub.
Uncle
Nice.
Ron's 3D Pub. That'll work. Nothing wrong with that.
Well, except for the fact you already got in trouble for drinking root beer.
I don't know that it was me that got in trouble. And if Matt's still here, I did want to tell him that I was only drinking root beer. I tried to show the label as much as possible in the video so that they could see it. I never said it, but they should have been able to read that it said IBC on the front of it. It's in big, really big letters.
Free advertising.
And James knows it's going to get changed to whip it, beat it, shoot it, kill it.
He actually put Uncle Ron's pube, 3D pube.
Okay. There are only
that means something different in Canardia.
They're only 2D, James.
Paul Cumber would like to wish us all good luck in 2019.
Thank you, Paul Cumber, and you too, my friend. Martin, yeah, root beer is non-alcoholic. That is correct. It is a soft drink.
That's the problem with it. Oh, sorry.
And Poppy Ron's going to say you did.
Oh.
All right. Oh, I hear you.
I did.
My knees are hurting.
No, my whole body's hurting. I've taken a beating.
Later, Terry.
Happy New Year. Did I hear beer? Hello from the brewery. I can't stand the smell of, well, I can't stand the smell of any alcohol, but the smell of beer really is just putrid to me. Root beer, the drink for Linux people.
Yeah, Tony Ryan says for some reason root beer is not a thing for the rest of the world. Actually, when most people try it from other countries, they're like, yeah, that's just not right. That's nasty.
If you drink root beer out of a square glass, then it's alcoholic.
Okay.
I wish it was that easy.
The root, it's like square root.
Yeah, it's a square root. I get that, but I don't understand the alcoholic thing. That went over my head.
Walter, with the new knives and pan holder, when will we see the country cooking time?
I might show you the country eating time. Oh, it's a math joke. Yeah, I didn't do that. I didn't do math.
I fell down a week ago and slipped bad yesterday, so I'm really tender. I think that's supposed to be tender, not Tinder, but
Brex Brigger just shrugged because I don't guess we said hello. You did say hello from the brewery, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess it's because everybody stopped talking about beer.
Oh, Matt said he drinks, so we don't have to. It's not that I don't drink. I just don't drink very often.
I don't drink anymore.
Happy Ron said, Happy New Year, best success to all, and do drive safely. Have a great stream. Peace all. Thank you, Happy Ron.
Thank you, Ron.
Yes, I don't drink.
Oh, yes,
less.
tender. Yeah, because tender and Tinder today are two completely different things.
But you don't drink any less either, Ron.
That is correct. Well, a little less.
A little less.
Chris Lane from Venturi 3D is here.
Molson Ice. I don't know.
Canadian beer.
Sounds good, Paul. I look forward to it.
Brex, it was root beer, but it's not beer per se.
IBC being that it comes in the dark glass bottle.
Yeah.
Looks like a beer bottle.
There's a root beer called Stewart's up north. It's the same thing. Comes in the same dark.
You can get that at Cracker Barrel down here.
Yeah. Looks like a beer bottle also.
If there's ever anything that you want to buy here that is up north, you just go to Cracker Barrel and they have
right.
That's how they do it. That's how they have odd things. They just bring it in from up north.
But it's like a southern restaurant. It's
right. But they want to have odd things.
Yeah.
The people go with odd.
Tristan, I agree with you if I was drinking non-alcoholic beer, but root beer is a soft drink. It is not a beer.
It's a pop, yeah.
Yeah.
Hello, Chris Lane.
Chris, what are you doing? Are you just showing off prints now?
I wanted to show you my Candy King gecko. I made 3.
Are they tasty?
Did you name them?
Not yet. I just got done with them this morning.
What do they taste like?
Plastic.
Oh.
Why did you taste them? That's the question.
I don't know about you guys, but I have a bad habit of like pulling the filament off the spool and then putting it in my mouth and then, working and then putting it in there. So I know what it tastes like a lot.
No, I don't. I don't have a problem.
I thought moisture was an issue with filament.
You're right.
Hey, you just got to print it fast.
If I clip off a little piece, I'll temporarily hold it in my mouth. I used to do that with zip ties. I'd hold zip ties in my mouth, but they come with some kind of a coating on them that is just nasty.
If you don't cut them flat, they can cut your lips too.
Yeah.
Chris says the Cracker Barrel up there has odd things from the South. Well, they are from the South. So being odd is nothing unusual.
I was saying the same thing. The Santa Joseph looks cool.
I didn't know that they had Cracker Barrel up north.
They start in New Jersey, I think.
Well, Cracker Barrel needs to bring back what's his name's wife. Did you not? I can't remember. Did you guys catch any of that? So it was probably on Facebook. It started. So supposedly this woman that worked there, she did something. Now of course I don't even know the whole story anymore. But like she had given some homeless people some food or something, and got fired. And so like there was this huge online campaign to bring back the dude's wife, which they never admitted it, but I'm sure that the whole thing was just a marketing ploy, and it was awesome. So somebody else chime in.
So it was like IHOB.
IHOB, right? Yeah.
That was the dumbest thing I ever saw in my life.
Pancake King.
Yeah. All right, so Chris, show them off.
What, my lizards?
Your lizards and your other multicolored prints there.
These are my lizards.
We saw that.
They've got black eye.
This one is
Now you're probably losing the feed. There you go. And this is Santa Joe that took 2 attempts.
Is that the one you got spaghetti on that you posted on Twitter?
Yeah. The first attempt ran 40 hours and fell over. And then I did this one on the MMU, and it took 51 hours.
Is that a Sphinx?
And that's the Sphinx. It took like 14 hours. I got some color bleed on that one, but all in all, it came out pretty well.
How bad's the color bleed though?
Well, it's black into yellow. I should have adjusted it a little bit more than I did, and it's not terrible, but you can definitely tell it's there.
So I've got a question for that though. Do you do test prints to see what the bleed's going to be, or you just kind of guesstimate? I'm
guessing mostly. With MMU, there's like, okay, there's a settings like, okay, it won't bleed, and right. then there's like, you know, the stock. Like I think it's around 140, but if you like 250 or something like that, you're 100%. It's not going to bleed into it. So it's just kind of guessing at this point.
I have to agree with Matt though, man. 14 hours for that print is just crazy.
Yeah, well, depends what you want to guess.
No, I agree. I mean, I get it. I've got the MMU2 over here, and when I pull up some of the print times on it, I'm like, oh, crap, I really don't want to wait that long for a print. So it doesn't get printed.
Yeah, I feel that way about non-multicolor prints sometimes.
I agree too sometimes, Glenn. When they show that time in on regular prints, I'm like, is there any way I can print this in face mode?
Well, you know, and then it's really weird because, and I thought it was Cura that was doing it. There was a setting, and I don't remember what it is now, but there was a setting that was ticked in Slicer Prusa Edition that would cause my fan on the AMA to not kick on. The cooling fan would never kick on, and it was only when I sliced in Slicer it was fine in Cura. So I didn't know if it was a compatibility issue. I've been using Cura, so I finally figured out what it was. It has something to do with, it was like a bridging cooling fan or something. I don't know, but I found the option. I ticked it, so everything is fine. But I thought it was a Cura issue that it was having, where when I do 20% infill on something, it's like really, really dense. And so again, I thought it was Cura, but it's the same way but only with the AM8. So like if I set 20% infill on the Prusa, it's really wide. If I set it to 20, say like 1 square centimeter is the infill on the Prusa. On the AM8, when I set it, it's like 3 or 4 millimeters.
Same nozzle diameter?
Yeah. Same everything. Just like the infill gets to be crazy. See that infill? That's 20%.
Okay.
But that's not 20%. Feel how heavy that is?
Got some weight to it.
Yeah, I don't think that you guys will see it if I try to show you, but it's probably like 3 millimeter square.
That glow in the dark?
Yeah. So,
Chris, how long did Santa Joseph actually take?
How long does what?
The Santa Joseph.
It's like 51 hours.
Wow.
2.5 days.
Patience.
How far in did you get your spaghetti the last time?
40 some hours.
You didn't? Did you say choice words?
I did. I was a little upset.
How long did that stool take?
14 days total.
That's print time for a full scale benchy on the FK1.
Yeah, well,
at 0.2 layer height.
Yeah, that stool was at a 0.7 layer height. So,
and how much foam?
For the benchy? No, I can't remember. 5 rolls, I think. There's a lot. But again, that's at 0.2 with a 20% infill.
Yeah.
Yours was how many rolls, Chris? 12 or something like that?
The bar stool was like 5.5.
Oh, 5.5. Oh, okay. At 0.7 layer height though, that's a lot of damn time.
Yeah, but even with cheap filament, that's $100 bar stool.
Yeah.
And then he broke it.
But did he?
Yeah, broke it. Yep.
How'd you manage that?
Sat on it one too many times.
Well, the thing about it is though, if Glenn does a benchy, it's going to be $100 benchy.
Yeah.
Well, you know, you just got to go looking for sponsors to, you know, be willing to.
No, I mean, I get that, but it's still $100 benchy.
Absolutely.
See, I think with a little change to that benchy, he'd actually have like a sandbox he could sell off somewhere.
Yeah, I mean, you know, like kids always buy like pedal cars and stuff. Like you can put your kid in it and float them across the river.
Or you could like hollow it out and make a 3D printed benchy pedal car.
Right.
For Murph.
Well, all I know is if I can get it done before Murph, it will come to Murph, and then people can see it.
Well, that's the thing. You could bring it to Murph and let Zach drive it around. It's a 3D printed.
I don't know.
Have
you seen how big that kid is lately? He's huge.
But have you seen the size? Wait, yeah, you've seen the size of the FK1. You could.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now.
Yeah, you could print a big enough benchy.
I may have to do it in two parts.
Nah,
how big of a benchy would that be if I quartered that?
and then did full size on your bed in quarters?
Yeah.
Oh.
I just know that the Andrews from 3D Gloop need to get busy on that PETG formula.
That'd be a great Gloop advertisement, putting that 4-part together.
Yeah. I mean, their PLA stuff works so well. I really hope that they work out a PETG version.
The thing is, they did the spools for wheels last year. That didn't work out so well.
Oh, on Chuck's
the spool racer.
He's done it a couple of times.
That was the second or third year you done it. Yeah.
Yeah, Chuck scares me with that thing. Have you seen the video where he's like ripping down the hill on the street?
Oh my God, yes, and he is booking.
Yeah, he is moving on that thing. I talked to him. I was like, Chuck, man, slow down.
I was talking to him about it at Murph, and he said he actually has to like pick and choose the spools he's going to use because some of them are just better for doing it. They're a little more dense.
Absolutely. Well, I mean, like, have you ever? Well, you've seen an IC3D spool. They're like super industrial, and then you get some of these. Well, here's a perfect. I don't want to pick on AIO because I love them, but that's AIO spool, and then that's IC3D spool.
Yeah, Yeah.
I mean, there's a massive difference. Now, typically using a spool for what it's for, who cares? You know, like, I mean, my 3D printed spools aren't that great, but I mean, the IC3D spools are super industrial.
That's at least twice the thickness. We should make them.
I don't know if it's that important.
You're right, Hack Monkey. You're right. It did, Scott.
Second round survived Jerry flogging it.
Yeah.
Protopasta spools? No, that would probably be a really bad idea.
Yeah, the cardboard spools.
I don't know who makes it, who the manufacturer is, but there's one company that makes their white spools and they're bubbled towards the spindle in the center. They're actually bubbled out, so it's curved. They have curved on the outsides and they're real thick.
Yeah. I can't remember who that is either, but I know I've seen them.
Are they flat on the inside?
Yeah, they're flat.
Like from here, it comes out like this.
Right.
Okay.
So like a half of a drop, half of a teardrop.
Yeah, they're curved on the inside too. That would really mess with the windings.
Yeah.
Spools are designed to be environmentally friendly, not soapbox friendly.
Why do these have belt loops?
I don't know why. Like this side is this way and this one is just slit.
Yeah.
But I just poke the filament through there and then loop it around into itself if I need to.
They're probably are they slit completely or do they just got the
one set is
like this side is just 2 holes and this side is a full slit.
Well, I was saying if they're used for something else, I mean it could be for banding to go through to hold stuff on it or whatever if they're multi-use spools.
I don't know. But just for the record, anybody that uses IC3D filament, they will gladly take the spools back when you're done with them. So I got a stack of them that'll be coming with me to Murph so they can have them back and put some more filament on them.
Well, you can drop them right off at their place.
Yeah.
See, I need to raise the $300. It actually wouldn't even be $300 to get Chris to fly down here and ride with me to Murph. So we can live stream while we're riding.
I was going to say, why should you get to have all the fun?
Well, if I pay for his plane ticket.
I have to ride with my noisy ass kids in the car.
Well, if I can get Regina to if I can talk Regina out to not going, but then half of the country club would be like, yeah, screw you, I don't want to talk to you. Your wife's not here.
You lose all your table eye candy. Is that what you're saying?
Right. That's it. I can't just like set her at the table and go, okay, just stay here and look pretty, and I can go do whatever I want to do.
You can send the kids up with Walter and have more room for the FK1.
Oh yeah, I could do that. Send my kids to you and have you drive them up.
Yeah. Hey, Chris, what day do you want to leave on? It's got to be like 4 days before Glenn.
Yeah, no, the trip to Earth, I mean, other than the traffic and the crap that happened, I mean, the actual drive itself was pretty awesome because we left at like 10:30 at night. I slept during the day, and then everybody else slept while I was driving, so it was like completely peaceful in the car. It was nice. Chris Lane said, sadly, I'm going to California around the time of Murph, so I probably won't be there. You suck.
I'm bad. Oh, we got some new ones in here. Evil Drafter, 3D Printing Viking, I guess, and Head Fog. I hadn't seen any of those.
3D Printing Viking's been here.
I haven't seen him.
Yep,
Not that
John
I know
Evans,
of.
hello.
But welcome.
Alien 3D's here. Hello, Josh. Josh
That
was
boy-
gonna be a super nice guy and send me a free UFO box, and I bought one right before he did. So I beat him.
So you're going to be getting an Alien 3D box?
I will be. It's gonna be awesome.
Did you use my code?
Yes.
You tell a story. Look at that smile.
See, I wouldn't use your code because that takes money away from Josh.
I know. And that's why I asked Chris, because I was going to be like, what? Shame on you.
Josh can put whatever code on it he wants.
Eggy the Tech, Radio Man GC. I've seen that one. Eggy the Tech, I haven't seen. Welcome.
3D Gusner's here. Has he been here for a while? And he just pop in.
He's been here for a little bit.
Yeah.
App people wants to know who else is going to build a spool racer to race against Chuck.
Yeah.
Not
I
me.
wouldn't know where to put that thing to bring it up with me.
Bryce Schwartzwelder's here.
Wheels.
Him and his wife sent me a nice Christmas card.
That's nice.
Yeah, it was.
Paul Cumber sent me a Christmas card. I just haven't gone to the post office to get it.
I got the one from Chris Riley and the one from Fun King because I know they got mine.
Absolutely. You know what I did get the other day that actually absolutely blew my mind and was pretty awesome was Poppy Ron actually sent me an e-card for my birthday. And I haven't gotten an I haven't even thought about e-cards in forever. It was pretty awesome.
He figured out how to do them a couple of years ago, and he still uses them.
Yeah, no, it was awesome. It was a cool flashback.
Sean Dallas, thank you for being here. I'm glad you're new. Thank you for saying it was a great stream. And if you aren't subscribed to Fun King 3D or Kuntry 3D, then the link should be in the description. If not, then Chris is just hogging it all for herself today.
Race the FK1 against Chuck.
They are in the description. And yes, Sean, thank you. You're always welcome.
David and I said, none of you guys sent me any Christmas cards.
I did, David. It was in the mail with Glenn and Chris's.
Yeah, I put all
got a
mine in the mail.
I got a
Stupid
whole
post
stack
office
of them.
news and stuff.
A whole stack of invisible 3D cards that I shipped off. I swear.
They were printed, right, with the invisible filament?
They were the invisible filament.
No, I've never been a Christmas card sending person. Like I've never done it.
I never remembered like a day or two before, and it's too late to worry about it.
John Quantin said fillerology or filerology makes the curve spooled. It's fiberology.
Yep, that sounds right.
He put a link in here. I don't know why it didn't pick it up. Chris must have turned off the link thing on his channel. Did you turn off the link, Nightbot or whatever, or do you not have Nightbot running?
Nightbot shouldn't be running.
Okay. Yeah, they are curved. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, those things are stout.
Never had any, but said it's out of Poland. So
Christmas is the day I used to get work done around the shop with nobody else around. Yeah, you know what? I will start to do Christmas cards, but if you want one, you have to send me a self-addressed stamped envelope.
Right? Sean, there's actually two competing ones, and they compete, but they're different companies, and I will support them both, and that's the Maker Box and the Alien UFO Box. So that's the two I know of that I have seen. So
there was one other one at Earth, and I can't remember the name of it. And
Mondo Box.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
I don't know anything about the Mondo Box.
Yeah, I mean, I talked to Josh at Orlando Maker Fair, and I said, it's a rock and a hard place for me because, I've been with MakerBox for a long time, and I have personal ties to Nick and Kevin. We became friends over the years, and of course now Printed Solid owns it, and those guys are just awesome. And I just it feels dirty to me to get another box. But yeah, I've been about the Maker Box forever. So
let's see when
I Maker Geeks box. You can order one. I don't know if you'll ever actually get it.
Well, see, and the thing with me, Glenn, is I met those guys at Murph, the boys there that were at Murph with the Maker Box, and I had thought about doing it, and by the time they done it, it had been swapped over, and I didn't know it already, and Josh had already started Alien 3D by the time I thought about doing it.
What's really crazy is at the point you met them at Murph, it was already done.
Yeah, see, and I didn't know that.
No, neither did I. I sat at the table. They had dinner with us that night, and which was really funny because Zach just talked Kevin's ear off. But like I was talking to him, I'm like, I love what you guys are doing, and you're gonna go far, and it's amazing. And they had to sit there and listen to me drone on and on, already knowing that they had sold it, but they couldn't say anything either, But I'll tell you what, if Dave said, I handed the check to them at Murph. If they were gonna, and I'm not saying this just because Dave's in here, but if they were gonna sell it to anybody, I'm glad that that's who they sold it to. Sorry. They could have just sold it to anybody, and I don't think that it would have gotten the same love and support that Dave and Matt have showed it.
The transition was seamless.
Oh yeah. Yeah. No, I mean, it can only get better and better and better with those guys behind it. So
I might have to change mine though. They did a new Mega Mondo, whatever.
The everything box.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not Mondo. Mondo's a different box.
What's funny
everything box.
I still have not printed with any of the samples out of any of the Maker boxes.
Many samples in those boxes. So, but
somebody was asking before about Einstein versus Duet for a Dolly clone, and I know that we've had many discussions about that, but. It really depends. You're not going to beat Duet, right? For a lot of things, but for a Dolly clone, something like a Cartesian printer that's going to do what it does, that INCs are pretty awesome. So,
of course,
it's going to be hard to say.
The thing is though, both of those boards really. It depends on what you want it for. If you just want to build something like you've got there's a log that you're going to swap stuff out on, I mean, both of those really are overkill for that printer.
Oh yeah,
I mean, it's just it is what it is. But
yeah, but the thing is if you get a board that's not like you get a board that's below that level, that's just enough for whatever that you're doing on it, then it's hard to work with.
There you go.
So you pay a little bit more for the little better board, but it's going to give you a lot more options.
Yeah, I mean, I'll tell you right now, I don't think I'll build another printer that's not Duet based. That's not the Duet Wi-Fi based. I just don't.
Yeah, I kind of think I'm in that same boat. I love Marlin firmware. I support Scott on Patreon, and you guys know that I was all about. I gotta have a board that runs Marlin, and everybody said, "Oh, go with the Duet," and I'm so glad I did. So,
yeah, no, I mean, and I'll never say anything about the Ultimachine stuff ever because their support, they're just they're a kick butt company.
Oh, absolutely. It's a fantastic board.
And if they ever get their 32-bit stuff where it needs to be, I'll be there.
I'm sure they will. I'm sure they will.
Yeah. Sonic, the cost of a Duet or even a clone, the cost of a Duet, just say the Duet Wi-Fi is what, 160, 149, 160, something like that. You can get a clone for $90. So I mean, it is what it is. You're going to spend pretty much no less than $100 to get a really good board anyway, because like the INZ is 100, 110 or something like that.
Yeah.
If you want 8-bit, the Duet Wi-Fi is probably, I don't know because I haven't tried them all, but so far as I know, it's the best 32-bit board out there for what you want to do. I don't know.
Kathy O'Malley's in the house. Hello, Kathy.
Tony Ryan said, Uncle Ron's pub box. A sample of Filament, a case of beer, a flask of bourbon, and a bag of pretzels. That'd be an Uncle Ron pub box.
No, John Hammond. 12, 24 volts. I run 20. I think I run my Hypercube Evo at about 22 volts. And then my TiVo Little Monster runs at 21 volts, or so it says on the display. Oh, David Randolph said Wi-Fi is 169.90. So at Printed Solid, you can go get it at Printed Solid, I think.
And Dave should be posting a link to that.
Yeah, if you can post links, David. Where's the link to? Chris, your OBS is killing me, man.
The Duet Wi-Fi is a 24-volt board, though, right?
No, it'll handle up to 24 volts.
Oh, okay.
It can run at 12. But now, for those of you guys who don't know, if you run that board at 24 volts, it is putting 24 volts out to your fans, unless you switch it down to the 5-volt setting. You cannot run, if you run at 24 volts, you cannot run 12-volt fans. Otherwise, what happens? Well, this is exactly what happens.
Oh, that's
they spin a little too fast, and then they stop spinning altogether.
Headfog, no, 169.90 would not be a clone. And David Randolph, it won't be spam. He doesn't have Nightbot turned on, so you should be able to post a link. Fine.
You want me to spam the chat with links? No, we would like you to post an appropriate link to the product. You don't have any problem supporting Printed Solid, do you, Chris?
I do not.
I mean, there's certain people that are easy to support, and there's some people that, you really have to buck up before you support them.
I don't know.
No, you can use 5-volt fans, AJ, or you can use 24-volt fans. But to be honest, I'm running a 12-volt Noctua fan as my hot end fan at 24 volts, and it's handling it.
Oh yeah.
But the
fast is it
50, it's actually pretty normal. They give you a resistor that you can put in line to make it less noisy. How a Noctua fan is considered noisy anyway. But I didn't even put that in there to knock it down. It's just running at 24 volts. But now when I hooked up the part cooling fan and fired it up, I thought the printer was going to actually lift up and cover with the amount of air, because I fired it up to check because I designed the wind mouth, and it was like, it was a crazy amount of air coming out of there. I'm like, wow. Yeah, and then the thing melted.
John Hammond. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
MKS GNL versus rearm. You're pretty much going to have the same results. Only rearm, you can use the ramp shield, and MKS is the traditional MKS body. So you're going to get about the same thing, probably about the same money, except different form factors.
John Hammonds, I agree. If you can afford it, then get the genuine by all means. But I will tell those that out there that can't afford it and they're looking at it and going, $89, I could probably swing that. The Feistech or Fistech, however you want to say it, clone is a pretty solid piece of equipment as well.
Yeah, keep in mind, clones, that hardware was released open source. The people that are making it did not rip it off. It is an open source design. They have the right to make it. But if you can afford the original one, you're going to get most likely better support. Plus, you're also helping to fund research and development for future stuff. So,
yeah. Well, is it? I mean, I've done both. I'm starting to get into 32-bit more and more, and I think Dave made the comment, Duet was easier. Do you really think Duet, I'm biased because I've done so much work with Marlin. So you guys might not have configured as many Marlin boards as I have. Do you think that Duet was easier than Flash and Marlin?
Yes.
Marlin hasn't configured as many Marlin boards as he has.
Well, and the thing is, it's not even that it's easier to Flash. It's just easier to find what you need to configure.
Yeah, there is no Flash. Like you literally write your changes and click save.
Yeah,
but you still have to have a configuration file that you load and save and put it on the board and all that.
Right, but you step through for your base configuration though. You're stepping through the RepRap configurator.
Right.
So you're doing that. You're hitting save, and then you're uploading a zip file. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then it loads everything for you, and then you can go in there and tweak your settings and just hit save, and you're done. You know. Now I will say this: there's more control over the Marlin firmware because you have the actual C source code that you're compiling. So you can go in and change things if you're a C coder or whatever to do what you want it to do. But as far as someone that's new, I don't even want to say new because I wouldn't say Glenn was new. I wouldn't say I was new. I think it's easier for me, and it's easier for the WYSIWYG style people.
Oh, there's a term I haven't heard in a long time.
Well, but I mean, really and truthfully though, I mean, if they're not programmers or they're not Linux guys or whatever, they can walk through that configuration and upload it and then go, okay, it says right here, this is my hottie. I need to set that to 1.5. You set it to 1.5, you hit save and it's done, and then you go about your business, check it out, do it again. And it's just a little simpler. It's not that it's just easy. It's easier. Yes.
A lot of the different firmwares now are going to that model as well. So we take really rough, simple firmware, and then we make macros of G codes to control that firmware. And that seems to be the trend going forward, rather than the firmware having for Marlin only G code commands or Prusa only G code commands.
Tony Ryan's going to bust me out with, what is it, 1998? WYSIWYG? Well, I mean, I started off in my professional programming career was in Visual Basic. So, because everybody wanted OCX controls for the web. And I'm like, sweet.
Like Dave's comment about what he pushes.
Yeah. Well, that's true. I mean, he likes Marlin, but if you want to, with basic Arduino questions, because even with my Prusa firmware, there was a certain way that I had to set up the compiler so that it compiled it correctly to work on the Prusa clone. It wasn't just as simple as loading Marlin and then uploading it to a board. On the ING Rambo, in order for that firmware to work, you have to set up your development environment exactly right for it to work that way.
It's short on space, right?
What's that?
The IC board or whatever it is short on space, so you have to strip a lot of the unnecessary stuff out, make it fit.
Prusa did all that work for me, but even their open source software has to be compiled a certain way. So, to me, the RepRap firmware is easier to configure and just play around with settings. Because once you upload it, you don't really have to have a computer connected to it again. Ever.
Yeah, you can do it all. You can do it all right through the control panel.
Through a tablet or whatever,
And that is true. I thought the config file that they used, that Duet uses to make the macros or whatever you want to call them, I thought that was a little clunky, really, to be honest. Just the way you had to alter, is it a 0, is it a 1, is it an S, is it a, that kind of stuff. I thought once it's set up, it's great, but like switching end stops to open or closed or whatever, I thought that was kind of a.
But that's also you coming into it new. Had you been starting from the beginning and you'd been doing RepRap firmware the entire time, you would have been used to the S0, S1, whatever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But with you coming in with all of your Marlinology into this RepRap world,
Trademark Kuntry 3D.
Yeah.
Marlinology.
But
I'm a Marlinologist.
right, you are the Marlinologist. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
that's the thing. I mean, I don't know that it's not easier for you. You're like me being a Gator fan. I have a bias that way, and I think you may have brought that bias into that.
Well, it's
I
where
agree.
you get comfortable. I mean, when you're comfortable with one, okay. So Linux versus Windows. It's where you're comfortable. So
yeah,
and that's what I mean by the bias. It's that Chris has been doing Marlin so long, he can look at it and go, okay, I know exactly what's happening.
Yeah, it's like being able to actually read the matrix as it scrolls by on the screen.
Exactly. He does that. Did you not hear him when I said he could set his up as services on Windows? Oh, but I like the command window open. So that when he opens it, he sees that girl in the red dress and he's good to go.
That's right.
I see that though, because I know when you first open Marlin, I can totally see, here's all these tabs. What is in them? What is this? I can see that, especially 2 years ago, Marlin 108, release code candidate 6 or something. That was not so easy. But Dave brings a good point. I mean, having the window where it's always there, you don't have to compile. You can just get in there, make the change, and see it update. I can see the attraction to that.
Yeah, no, and like if you screw up the pins file in Marlin, you think you're typing in config H because you're looking at settings over here and you're going, I can touch type because I'm smart, and you've already tabbed over to the pins file and you go, oh crap, I just hit save.
Yeah. So
let's start over. You know what I mean? So I get it. I mean, it is what you're used to.
Well, and then, in a situation like mine where there was no pre-configuration that I could download, there was nobody else's that I could build off of. It was completely from scratch, and like to have to reflash in, and every time I make a change, did this work? It was so much easier just to click save.
Yeah, no, and I can get that, especially with something like the FK1, because having the RepRap configurator to walk through the first time, I mean, you got to, okay, that's my motor speed, or that's my steps per millimeter. Okay, let's set all that. Then you got to go in and figure out how to change it. But it was probably easier.
But okay, so that's a perfect example, because motor speeds, everybody said, or amperage, like everybody was telling me, oh, well, you want to set it to 900 milliamps or 950 milliamps, that's where you want to be. Well, it wasn't. Like I'm running like 1500 milliamps.
Right.
And again, nobody's ever built one of these before. So like I kept upping it a little bit to have to go in and reflash every time, as opposed to I can go in, click save, let it reload, test it, change it, click save, let it reload, test it. Like it was so much quicker.
Why do you need to run yours so much higher?
It's moving a lot more weight than typical.
Oh, okay.
Plus they're bigger steppers.
Hey, Matt, from How I Do It, when this stream is over, I'm going to send you a message on Twitter. So I got to send you a message.
Well, you got to drag all of us into your dirty laundry.
Hey, you watch it, man. But
Speaking
anyway,
of stream over. It is 5:01.
It's 6:01, man.
I get it every time.
Patrick said, yep, Glenn would have used half of his flash cycles if he'd used Marlin.
Okay. All right, Chris, there's a question from you from the Moldy Mushroom.
So you're able to run Stealth Chop alone using 1.6 version of Marlin. What is your amps for X and Y set to? Is that the case? The X and Y question is just that set amps based on need, and you can decode what the actual draw of that motor would be if you look up the serial number, but you're going to want to go like 15% over what they say. But anyway, so that you set amperage based on need. Stealth Chop might not give you the power you need if you run it. Now, can you run it alone with 1.6? Yes, you can, but you're going to have to run the driver in legacy mode or standalone mode, and it will do Stealth Chop by default. I don't believe 1.6 is going to support the SPI that you need. So if you have to stay on 1.6, you're probably going to run in standalone. You have to get to 1.8 or 1.9 to run the SPI mode. Hopefully that's enough info. If not, send me a comment or something. We can talk about it.
Why would one have to stay at 1.6?
Yeah, I'm not sure, but.
All right, we're taking up Chris's time now. He's already told us it's supper time. Get the heck off of here.
I got more videos to make.
I can't help it. You're only 8 weeks out instead of 10.
You haven't programmed something to make the videos without you?
That's what I need to do. Automate video making.
You can do that with a Duet Wi-Fi.
AI Chris.
Shout out to Chris Riley. Received the parts for the Octoprint monitor. Great vid. Also great idea to build. Received the parts for Christmas. Awesome. I didn't get anything 3D printing for Christmas because I didn't buy it for myself. Well, that's not true. I got a really nice set of ball end hex screwdrivers.
The Harbor Freight?
No.
No, he said really nice. He said really nice.
Yeah, I can't remember. It was Tom Llama that suggested them on Facebook. And I'm like, oh, I got to have a set of those. And they were only $15.
Right.
The only thing I don't like about them is the handle size changes. Like the handle gets smaller as the driver gets smaller. I'd rather have the same size grip and just let the screwdriver get, but I suppose then you could bust something. Time to order pizza. No pizza.
Downstairs already.
Yeah.
From lunch.
Yeah, we did have pizza. I didn't have pizza for lunch, but my for those of you who are keeping track and are concerned, my blood sugar numbers have been good. The doctor upped my medication and they're even better. So one day soon I'll be able to eat more pizza.
All right, outro time. I'm Walter, Kuntry 3D. You can find me everywhere at Kuntry 3D. And off to you, Glenn.
Boy, you are in a hurry to get out of here, aren't you? All right, everybody, I'm Glenn.
I'm not.
And he's not Glenn. And this is Fun King 3D. We are found everywhere at Fun King 3D. I say everywhere, almost everywhere, or funking3d.com. For those of you who like this stream and want to continue to follow us, don't forget that funcountrybasement.com exists. And by Sunday, at least, it will have an updated link, hopefully a correct one, Chris Riley. And you'll be able to find, because the stream does rotate between the 3 channels. So it'll give you a better chance to find the stream. Xander Stink Thursdays on Thursday. What?
Right now, it's only rotating between 2 streams because somebody won't fix your dang computer.
I know, I haven't had time, and I don't want to. But yet, I say this now, it's going to crap out now, but 2 hours and no crap out.
Right?
I went through the whole thing without it dumping.
Did you kick it?
I didn't do anything. So, but regardless.
It was actually Glenn's turn.
It was my turn last time, like last week.
Yeah.
And then you did it because Josh was there. Right. And then today Chris was like, you do it. And I'm like, that's a bad idea. You do it. So, but it's all good. Whatever. And if it was a Linux computer, it would just work. I don't know. I don't know if it's hardware or software, but we're going to find out. So, but okay, I guess that's enough for me.
All right. And I am Chris Riley of Chris's Basement. I am now on Twitter, Chris Riley 3D. You could follow me if you'd like. Appreciate Dave Randolph for coming by today, and thank you for the comment. I do my best to make helpful videos for us all. It's always fun for Fun in the Country Basement to hang out and talk to these guys and answer some questions. Thank you for Uncle Ron for showing up.
Thanks for having
me. It's always good to talk to you. And I think that's it for today.
He flew in just for this.
Yeah. So long, everyone. Country 3D's hanging in there for $5. Thank you, Walter. Appreciate it. All right. So long. See everybody next week.
Print on.
Later.